Good morning, chestnuts. Today we're going to be carrying on looking at short multiplication, but it's going to be slightly different today because we are going to be exchanging. The first thing we want to do is our starter task. So why don't you pause the video and have a go at answering these 3 questions. I'm now going to go through the answers, so if you're not quite ready yet, pause the video again and then you can listen to the answers afterwards. So to start with, we've got 4 times 3, 4 lots of 3, which give us 12. We then can notice that 3, if we multiply it by 10, we get 30. 30 is 10 times bigger than 3, so the answer is going to be 10 times bigger, which is 120. And if we needed to check, we could count our base 10 to help us. 10, 20, 30, 60, 90, 120. In the second question, it says write a multiplication expression to match each addition. So what we need to see is how many of each number we have. So the first one is representing 12 multiplied by 3. The second one is representing 15 multiplied by 4. And the third one is representing 26 multiplied by 2. We've then been asked to multiply each number below by 2. Now what you might have done is used our column method from yesterday to work that out, or you might have done it in your head. So 13 multiplied by 2 is 26. 23 multiplied by 2 is 46. 33 multiplied by 2 is 66. And 43 multiplied by 2 is 86. So like I said, today we're going to be answering the question, can I solve multiplication problems using short multiplication? To be successful today, you need to set out your calculation correctly in columns, start at the right hand side, which is the ones, and check your answer by estimating if you need to. If you're still a little bit unsure of our learning from yesterday, or if you didn't get the opportunity to finish your multiplication questions from yesterday, you could always have a go at doing those first, and then come back to this lesson to take your learning a little bit further. So recapping from yesterday, remember in our first step we multiply by the 1. So in 24 times 2 we've multiplied 2 by 4 to give us 8. In step 2 we've multiplied the 1s by the 10s, so 2 times 2, which gives us 4. And remember that 4 is in the 10s column, so it represents 40. We then had a go doing a 3 by 1 multiplication. So we had 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 3. And finally, this linked to your challenge yesterday. We had step 1, 8 times 1 is 8, and then we multiplied 8 by 6, which gave us 48. So we had to put that 4 in that hundreds column, because remember that 6 represents 60, and 8 times 60 is 480, which is why the 4 is in the hundreds column. So have a think, who could explain how to solve 34 times 2? Is there someone in the room you could explain it to, or could you have a go at just writing it down yourself? Let's work through it together. So the first thing we need to do is lay out our calculation. So we've got 34, and we're going to multiply it by 2. So I'm going to have my 4 in my 1s column, my 3 in my 10s column, and I'm going to put that 2 underneath. We're then going to use our ruler to draw our lines. The first thing we're going to do is 2 times 4, because remember we start from the right, and 2 times 4 is 8. Then we're going to do 2 times 3, which is 6. So 34 multiplied by 2 is 68. Today we're going to look at what happens when the answer, once you've multiplied, is more than 9. So in the one we've just done, both 6 and 8 are less than 9. But what we're going to look at today is what happens if they're greater than 9. So this is an example. we've got 24 multiplied by 4. And this is how we'd lay it out. The first thing we need to do is our ones, and 4 times 4, let's have a look. 4, 8, 12, 16. There are more than 9 ones, which means we can't just write 16 in the ones column. We need to think what we can do. Now, how many ones are there in 110? Hopefully, you'll have thought about the fact that there are 10 ones in 110. So what I'm going to do is circle 10 ones. 4, 8, and I'm going to take 2 of those to give us 10. And I'm going to exchange those for a 10. So what I've done there is I've recognised that 4 times 4 is 16, but I can't write 16 in the ones column. So I've exchanged 10 ones for 110. And that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones in the ones column and an extra 10 in the tens column, which is this one here. We then are going to do 4 times 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. And we're then going to add on our extra 10 from earlier. So I'm going to cross that out to make sure I've added it. And now we're going to have 9. So we've exchanged our 10 ones for 110 and then laid out the calculation. Let's have another go. So we're doing 25 times by 3. So the first thing we do is 3 times 5. And hopefully you'll be thinking about the fact that 3 times 5 is 5, 10, it's 15. And again, I can't write 15 in here like that, can I? So, have a think what we're going to need to do. We're going to take 10 of our ones and we're going to exchange them for 110. So I'm then going to write that 5 times 3, I'm going to put my 5 here to represent my ones and an extra 1 there to represent my tens. And notice that still looks like 15, doesn't it? Then we do 3 times 2, which is 2, 4, 6, and we add on our extra 10 to give us 7. And I'm going to cross that out to remind myself that I've included that in our calculation. Let's have another go. And you'll notice in this one that another column has appeared. So let's start. We've got 5 times 2. And 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to take all of those 10 ones and I'm going to exchange them for 110. So I'm going to put a 0 in my ones column because I haven't got any zeros left. And I'm going to put a 1 in my tens column. But now we've got more than 10 tens. We've got, because we're doing 5 times 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, plus 1, we've got 16 tens. So I'm going to need to exchange some tens for 100. How many tens are there in 100? There are 10. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to take those and I'm going to exchange them for 100. So what I'm going to do over here is I've said 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. Now if we look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my tens left. And I've now exchanged 10 of my tens for 100, so I'm going to put a 1 there. I've got nothing to multiply 5 by in my hundreds column, so I'm just going to put the 1 up here, which means 32 times 5 is 160. We've got our 1, we've got our 6 tens, and we've got no 1s. Let's have a look at another one. Why don't you pause the video and have a go at doing this one by yourself? Are you ready? 4 times by 3. 4 times by 3 is 3, 6, 9, it's 12. And I can't put 12 in the 1. So we're going to take 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to exchange those for a 10. So I've now got 2 ones left over, the 2 from the number 12, and I'm going to put the 1 from the number 12 in the tens column. Then we're doing 4 times 4, which is 4, 8, 12, 16, plus 1 is 17. So again, I'm going to have to exchange 10 of my tens for 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've now got 7 tens left. And I've exchanged those 10 tens for 100. So I then put that here. And again, I've got nothing to multiply by my 4 by in my hundreds column. So I'm going to move my 1 to the top, meaning that 43 times 4 is 172. What you might want to think about before you start a calculation is an estimate. So 43 is roughly 40. And 40 times 4 would be 160. So you want to know that the answer is roughly around that amount. So your task for today, there's 2 parts of it like usual. Task 1, we've got a description up here, a method of how you do your calculation. And you've got 6 calculations to have a go at. And I've put the squares here for you to be able to lay your numbers out nice and neatly. For your challenge, there are 4 calculations already done for you. And I want you to mark the calculations with a tick in these boxes if they're correct. And if they're wrong, put a cross in the part of the calculation where there's a mistake. Okay? And then finally, I've got 3 more for you to have a go at. And these ones are a little bit trickier because what you'll notice is they've all got a number in their hundreds column. Okay? Whereas in these ones, we're just multiplying a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. In the challenge, it's getting a little bit harder because you've got a 3-digit number multiplied by a 1-digit number. If you need any help, let me know. You can always listen back to this video to have another go. Speak to you later, chestnuts. Bye.